here for Sugar
So
Zero to really
at least
amp up what he was doing. He was doing so much impact when they played against Team Secret. I feel like he has a lot more to prove right now when the rest of the team needs to look up to him or follow his lead.
For real.
Now, what I really want to see is both our Jets stepping it up because, frankly speaking, honestly speaking, both of them have
the only
not
thing
been
that
looking their
Zeta really
sharpest.
struggled against,
I
in
wanna
my
see
opinion,
their crazy
was
plays where our
the
jaws are on
Sage.
the ground with their magnificent jet plays, especially
They
their
got
jet plays
easy
from
plants.
Texture and Jet.
Yeah, confidence, I feel, needs to come back in very much more for depth. Texture, you know, maybe he hasn't had the best day, but definitely starting to wake up.
All right, we are ready to start our final series of today. Let's go back to our casters, Paper Thin and William.
And we're in for map 1 of the very last best of 3 today. And of course, that will wrap up both phase 1 and 2 for VCT Pacific Kickoff. If GenG wins, they move on to the playoffs. And if Zeta wins, it will in fact be Team Secret.
Yeah.
A lot on the line
Zeta
here.
on defense,
And
GenG
Zeta certainly
on
hoping to
attack.
play spoiler
Zeta
against
lose
GenG,
or
so
win, they're
a lot
still
of pressure here
eliminated.
on
How?
GenG.
Okay, so
Get
it
the
goes down
job
to
done,
1
secure
maps.
their
So say that Zeta
destiny,
2-0 this,
their fate in
they
their own
still
hands.
lost
Will it be
0-2,
GenG
whereas
able to
Team
best
Secret
Zeta in a similar fashion to what we just
lost
saw from Team Secret,
1-2,
handling
but
them
1-2-0, right? So
incredibly
it's
well
3
on this
against
map
2.
in particular.
Okay.
This time around, a very different look on this pistol here from
Hopefully
Zeta,
I
pushing
explained that
right
well.
down mid heavily, but it's an A hit.
Kind of lost my
from
train of thought
GenG,
midway
just
through, but I'm pretty
completely
sure I got it.
sidestepping this crunch towards attacker spawn that Zeta has set up.
4-person
Yeah,
push
GenG
down
doesn't
with the
have much
wall.
information about it,
and
but
we
they
could
will
have a
carry
fast flank
one
here.
mid. Now the big question for Zeta is, do you split back and try to wrap around to make sure that they don't push entirely out into the defender spawn?
Yeah, and we got a
That's up
lot
to
of
Huron to make
pressure with
sure
this one.
screens doesn't get overtaken by GenG.
4-person flank, and the Sova needs to be careful.
GenG very well aware of this.
Oh, whoever comes up on belt might catch somebody completely off guard here. Heron getting pushed back a little bit.
That's going to be the first contact. Meteor gets taken out from above, and GenG has to back out, and they will correctly push right back out to secure a little bit more space against this retake. Now the spike planted above, I believe, right onto that nest. So we'll see if they can get in there. GenG Texture trying to find a timing, but he's not going to get it.
Yeah, time's a
Hero
little
will
low on
hold
this.
true. Still
No
3
cove.
members left alive for GenG. It's only 1 left for the side of
cove on
Zeta
pistol.
Division. Last 2 low, she gets shot through the wall. And
My
Lockheed
boys
will
are
kick
buying
things
no
off with a
cove on
triple.
pistol.
I really like that Zeta's showing a very different look.
It was a
very
different
unique
pistol though. At least they have
to
a
this
few
round.
pistols.
They're able to
They
catch
get a little bit
GenG
aggro, but
enough off guard that they get the first
nicely
kill,
done
but
from Lackey on this.
reactions are
Gets
really, really good on the other
plant,
side
gets
of the
3
map.
kills,
A
halfway
quick
to official.
kill that shuts down any sort of flank angle to be created from the side of Zeta. And then the rest of everybody doing their jobs on site, making sure that they're covering the angles, covering the positions, and man, oh man, they're already fired up. Like,
Yeah.
1 round in.
Well, Meteor's trying to calm them down, just like, nice. Yeah. But then on the other side, Lockheed is popping off. I mean, he had a rough start to some of those matches that GenG had to play. Of course, great at closing it out, but it's got to feel good to be the opening act here for GenG. And now a fast push onto green. The high tide will keep them at bay, but not much else other than the stack here from Zeta Division. And it is going to be a heavy one. 4 members right on the site on B side.
Yeah, they've read this correctly so far. We'll see.
Yeah.
GenG's
They're
just
at the right side. Got to keep an eye on the line.
The defense that they've set
Knife
up.
goes in.
Point, I don't think
I mean,
finds anybody. I'm pretty sure Zeta
doesn't
dodged
hit
it
it.
all. Poison Cloud right up close and personal.
Trying to find a pick right above the screen, and they're not going to find it right away. Karon gets the first pick, and Texture saw most members, gets 1 kill, gets traded, but it's set up for Lakia once again. Another double for the initiator of GenG, and it's just Laz left once again. And one of the reasons he just hasn't had much impact today is he just never could be part of the fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of times some gamble hits, and yeah, there's a dink, but Karon gonna find the headshot with that Guardian to take Laz down. And only losing 1 member
Was
in
this
the
Nico?
fray is GenG.
Now we have the
This
official.
Texture going to fall. So
5
plenty of
kills,
options and
2
already a
plants,
thrash
light armor.
online
Wait,
for Lakia.
goodbye,
I mean,
full
that
if you
did
want
not
it.
take long, and that is super scary here for
Is he
Zeta
taking
going up
mode?
against
Okay, he did
bonus.
take
Such a
damage.
powerful ult. I mean, one thing I'm really trying to key in on here is the harbor. For the side of Zeta, because with all of these initiators in there, it's going to be
Jackie,
really important.
thank you
that
so
those
much with the
cascades and
tier
other
1
things
as
are
well.
timely
Thank you.
to
Welcome
either
into the Slug
protect
Club.
you
Appreciate
from,
that.
you know, trying to push off of flashes. Or
They might,
covering those angles and
Black
flashes
Balloons,
are
they
gonna
might
hold
have
high tides as
a
well, of course,
perma
but
ban.
Usually the high tides are more used for site control initially.
Definitely for teams. Have they been banning the same map each time? Because I'm telling you, when you get the curveball of the sky nerf,
I mean, the other problem is
definitely an
of course,
approach you could be is, well, we haven't got much time, let's get rid of a map, and then you just have to focus on the other 6 maps. Freeze every single map, yes, they have a permaban, so...
I mean, you can still save one of the flash drives, you can get the Dizzy back, as we do find sight, and Depp will just hold his ground for a couple more seconds after getting just dinked all the way down to 11 health.
Ooh. Yeah, just a tough start for Depp. Ascent was okay-ish for Depp, but not as good as his Icebox, but definitely looking, as the desk was talking about, to see both of our Jets start to pick it up, and Dizzy at the ready. He's going to see if they can get up and around this utility, and certainly they've cleared plenty of space. Euron just has to back off.
Yeah, can't let this one happen, and that's the thrash.
Got anything to stop little bro? Okay, there we go. Nice little spam through. Fish can't find anything. Goes out into the open as well as the spike, and these guys need to get involved. What am I watching?
It is the bonus for GenG, so any more damage they can do against ZETA, they'll be happy about it, but a round win
nice molly.
Possible.
Now they start getting involved. 15 seconds.
Texture will get the double. Before he's flashed, he's still holding control as last
Lovely, can they kill the planter? Low HPs.
Holding true on the site.
Both one shot.
With an outlaw, both of them below full health. Could be one shot, one kill on both. He's got it loaded up, 2 in the chamber. Wrapping around, they want to clear yellow before they tap that spike, and he spots at least one. He spots one on wide, so he has his suspicions. Trying to close the gap, he scoped in, he finds one, and he
yeah, man, you could feel it. You could feel it. This gun, perfect situation, both one shot, and that is a 3-0 start. Nothing gone right for ZETA today.
Recognizes the double stack and is able to wrap around to the other side to give himself just enough time to isolate those 2 fights.
And we call it timeout, I think.
Stuff from Meteor. What a push here from Texture to find those first 2 kills. Catches ZETA way off guard. Laz tries to respond, finds 2 of his own from up in kitchen, but it is just not enough. Meteor just too darn good with the sniper rifle.
And using that turret as well, somewhat as a shield.
Dude, I'm telling you, this guy, as soon as he tech force, okay, as soon as he hears the calls that they're super low, oh man, it's like the best situation ever.
What a play from
as soon as he knows they're both one shot,
that is
they could
stay in the match.
Just real confident
threat.
Secret
earlier on.
No doubt, he had some really impactful round.
Spacing, it wasn't too bad. It's fine.
So
just a good gun in that situation.
Squad so far, and he looks so comfortable.
Best chance there is like jumping around the corner of a classic, really.
I mean, it's still a position where you can grab those sniper rifles and still have a lot of effect. Not just late round like this, but in the early parts of the round when he's on defender's side, you know, controlling sites, doing those kind of things.
First guy jumping around with classic, second guy trading. Did they know he had the outlaw? Yes, they did. So maybe that.
To fill in another role, the sentinel role is something that they often can really dive into, really pick up quickly due to some of the similarities in the play styles, and that outlaw will continue, of course, as ZETA is going to be onto an
everyone one-shottable as well.
For Hirodon is the only thing outside of the Sheriffs.
Yeah, and of course, barely any armor, let alone half armor, so just trying to set up for some sort of a trap play. The Cascade gives away his position. Sugar 0, very low. They haven't spotted him on the exit just yet. Could have made it through yellow, but Texture is keeping his sights trained, and he finds Uran's feet.
The smallest gap sees him walk through.
In yellow. You do have Huron here, but it's just not much support. And while the round was never meant to be your victory, you would like to do at least some damage against your opponents. That's going to be Sugar 0 taken down as well. Just clean from GenG, and Texture seems to have found his tempo once again. He had a little bit of trouble finding his footing against Secret, but a little bit of a rest, and he's right back on it.
One enemy remaining.
Turret posted up himself. That's Texture on top of yellow, and Lakia continuing
no bullets
to get
hit.
The frags halfway
no bullets hit
crash.
either.
That's just
well, there goes the money.
To have a flawless
everyone's
like
sitting
that.
Above 5K pretty much,
This
apart from this guy.
Already, it feels like a crucial round. It already feels like ZETA is falling apart at the seams, just like we saw on the previous Icebox, where they just cannot get anything going, where they're just being read on the map much better. Texture just finds that nice angle. He can spray through. Lakia holding it. And the fans are hyped and Texture's, you know.
Yeah, just keeping it chill.
He's ready.
Yeah,
He's good.
Doesn't want to get too hyped up. Now, one of the worst
They
parts
should
is, of course,
at least try a
Texture
different
gets
default, I would
opening
imagine.
kill.
They're
Onto
still
Depp with
like
the Blade Storm, fast pace up from GenG. You take down
okay,
Depp and
this is
already
really
Zeta just
this is
seems like they
really a
might start
stretch, but
crumbling.
the good news
Don't
is
have
for
too
ZETA
much else
fans,
to show
this is
so
gonna
far
sound bad.
today in these matches. They will
They're
have the
gonna
Killjoy
look
setups here on
at
the
how
A side,
bad their
but GenG
defense
have
is
to back
that you
off. They wanna
won't
reset.
see
They have
this
the numbers
default again.
advantage. And I was about to say,
They're gonna
obviously,
like the
none of
good
ults
news is
coming
they've
online
lost
yet
so
either,
heavy on
all
their
the way into the fifth
defense
round for
on
Zeta,
both
so
of these
a bit of a
that they
mismatch in the
should
economy
be
that they
aware
would
that
hope for, where you would
fundamentally
like to have the ults alongside the
it
firepower
doesn't
to
make
overcome
sense.
the round differential, but right now
So,
that's not happening.
Yeah,
in
for
the
sure, there's
future
not a lot of options
they
for
might
Zeta
change some
outside
stuff
of
up.
good gunplay,
Potentially
it feels
these
like, which
two.
has seemingly
At
eluded
the
them
very least, you'll
throughout the
probably
day
see
so
them
far.
play
Of course, there's still some utility to
more
play
like
with
other
Duran.
teams.
Just gonna have to back right off.
So
The
there's
0
that.
point comes in. The Dizzy as well,
That
but
is
it's
the
all
good
looking
news.
like
That's
it's
like the
gonna
good news
draw
long
some
term.
attention over. Meteor
That is
has
good news because they
information
can't
on
they
the
can't
other
go
side.
through to
Even
this
has in a bit of
this
a
anyway.
Killjoy battle, but
The good
Meteor
news is
knows
they're gonna
there's not
lose
much
so
going on
heavy
over on this A side,
twice
so
on their
he's calling
defense
in
that it's gonna be
rest of GenG to
alarm
come
bells
in
are ringing.
and find the weak side
Maybe the
of
default we're practicing.
Yeah, the fake absolutely
Maybe
works. The high tide
maybe
spent
our
as well.
setups
Meanwhile,
don't
I mean, a
make
big part why
sense.
this fake works is Meteor breaks,
there's that.
activates all the enemies.
It's not like they're getting a few rounds where it'd be like hero plays and you're like, yeah, but we got like 8 rounds, it's fine, right? Kind of like what we had with GE, where people are like, yeah, but they got 10 rounds. Like, yeah, but fundamentally, bind single Viper doesn't work. And it's the same as this default on ZETA. Fundamentally, this default doesn't work. It doesn't excel at anything.
They will just have to push in and clear out this site man for man. 4v5 fragment already on the way to buy time. Meteor has
Still though,
somehow
with this,
right
we
under
have
Urine.
Cove.
We'll find him. Even since
Cove
out 4-4,
insta
they'll
stick.
start the defuse. Not quite sure if GenG's heard it as they're a little late on the swings. He's just going to eat the snake bite, and it is going
Not
to be
too bad
the
on
Zeta
this though. As much as we're
defuse
flaming
right
it,
on top.
they managed to
Wow.
put the
I mean,
Cove
with
down,
everything
they
working
tank a
against you,
molly,
okay,
and they
Lock
stick
is
the
gonna pick up a
defuse.
couple at the back end. That's not great for
So,
Zeta.
what I was saying
Money
about them
is
maybe getting a
horrible.
few rounds and
And
thinking
that's
that
not
it's
something you wanna
okay
see there
might
at the end of that
just
round, where
happen.
you lose a couple
And then,
players. So, okay,
and
now
then
the
maybe
ults
they're
do
gonna
find
think their
their way
defense is
into
good
Zeta's
and we'll see
hands,
this
and maybe they can
forever.
start stringing some rounds together.
So we'll see.
Great, you get the
They got a
blades
lot
game
of
as well
ults.
for depth, so the
They got a
loss
lot
in
of
funds isn't the end of the world for this round. Going forward, it could be a problem, but
this is
absolutely just
this is also a good
unbelievable that
example of
with
just
lacking
how
so much
the comp on the
utility,
retake
getting
like
caught,
can
you know,
work
with
well
those
with
0
the
points and things
Cove.
like that, they're still able to
So
break their way through. Still fight left in this Zeta squad just
we
yet.
know it
Depp
can
pops
work.
The blades. Gonna be getting up and really up on those perches that he likes to get up.
2 people
Just trying
survive.
to go for those long-range sight
3
lines.
people
Wants to counteract
about to get
potential
reset
aggression from
money-wise.
Texture that he was on the receiving end of in that previous round.
Money over towards here isn't worth looking at. It's too high.
Focus on mid. They do have the turret set up for Zeta
They got
Division,
all
but
of the
just
ults.
a little bit of extra reaction available. Also able to keep the eye on that potential window in the tube. So Zeta trying to slow things down. They don't want to get that early contact. They just want to play with the safer defaults, especially with the slew of ultimates they have available. Retakes are on the board for the Japanese squad.
All right, exactly. I mean, lockdown, Viper's Pit, all the things you could want, and that's going to be Depp's knives taken away temporarily, so he's going to have to back out. Flashed
Take
up his
over.
Lakia,
Wait.
just a
Yeah,
little
What
bit
a-
of damage.
I mean, fair enough.
Colors floating around, but
Did he
yeah, it doesn't
did he
take too
actually
much,
tap the
thankfully, on his
spike or
end.
not? It felt like he wanted to
Could've been a
go
lot
close, tap
worse,
the
and now
spike.
they'll just leave Munchkin.
Look at this. They're just
Was
they're
very
reading
risky
so
with the
well.
spike.
Again,
We
like,
still
they
have
know
one
that
inserted
they've
over
got Zeta
towards
to
here.
bite, and this has been
And
Zeta's
Uran
MO
has a
so
lot
far
to do
today.
again.
Uran's going to see that dash
30
from the
seconds
Jet, and
left.
immediately
the
everybody else,
pit.
and he pops the pit.
Yeah,
This
this
pretty
is-
smart,
this
I
is
think,
nice
if he
from
can hold
him.
on here.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
just trying
if
to
he
make
can-
it so that
if he
the
can
plant
stay
is
alive,
just
he's doing
ever so
great.
more difficult. The high tide signifies it back in his here, but Meteors finds him.
Oh,
He's
dear
just
God.
waiting for more. The trigger discipline is impeccable. He finds one. Not quite sure where he was. Sugar Zero, the comms maybe not just there, or the audio just too muffled, as Meteor will go through the pit and clear it out. But the timing, can you get the plant in time? It just starts, and I'm
Did
not
they
quite
get
sure
the
on
plant
the
off in
east
time?
side. Amidst all this chaos,
No
will not
time
go
on the
through.
plant.
Oh my.
This
And
is the
somehow
biggest
Zeta will
melons
get
round
away
I've
with the
ever
win
seen, man.
amidst all this
This was a
nonsense, but,
disaster.
I
They
mean,
went
Zeta
over
Division, these
towards
round
A,
wins do
back
not
with the
feel good.
spike.
That
There was
Viper's
so
Pit
much
did
to
end up
win
winning
on
the
here.
round. It fought
While
just
this was
enough
going
time
on, they
to
saw
get
the
them over.
Viper ult, they
And
decided to
Meteor, I love
rotate,
what
and
he
they
does
are
there. He hides
about
for ever.
Not
inside
even
that
half a
Viper
second
pick.
too
We
late
really
on
counted
this.
for it. Finds a great
Oh
move to
man,
strike
this
after
run
the
was
chaos
painful
caused by
multiple
Texture.
occasions,
Sends
dude.
everybody scrambling from Zeta.
I can't believe it.
somehow
I was too
Shiro
busy
just not
facepalming about
responding
this
to
guy getting
Texture's
3
position
kills to
there.
notice the guy going
Walks
all the
right
way
back
back over
out,
towards
gives
A.
Texture the refrag, so that's even though they
Well,
get the win,
That's another
very head
that's
scratching
another
in a
clip
way
for Sideshow for
side of
sure.
Zeta, and GenG, you'd like that one back for sure, but still, economy very much in your favor. You've got a thrash again for Lakia.
Exactly.
Meteor's not too far away
You
from
think they
his
had time?
ult. Munchkin's not too far away from his ult.
I think it
so
killed it after,
a lot
right?
of things could start to swing your favor. That
And
helps.
That's, yeah,
that
Meteor
helps.
just digging deep with firepower. Now Laz is there to trade, so GenG not going to keep control of mid, but they do have the Thresh to clear out the site. Now, very curious what the post plant will look like in a 4v4, but first they'll have to take out Dep. Huron is by screens, and that's a great flash, but it's actually just a little bit too early for Texture to swing, and that allows Dep to swing right back around from under.
Okay, nicely
They'll
done.
clear
They
out the
managed to win
site,
3 in a
and
row
Zeta
here.
now finally
Last
finding
one.
some footing in the style they
Last
would
one,
wish.
a little bit
Yeah,
lucky.
here we
This
go.
one,
Now Zeta can
maybe a
get
little bit lucky
bit of
because
an
of the team
economy
flash as
going.
well.
They've been barely scraping by in these last couple of rounds.
Come
even though
on,
they're
man.
getting wins.
Come
A lot
on,
of guns
guys.
were
Let's
being
pull it
dropped.
together.
Therefore, the economy was just
Zerky G,
hanging on
thank you so
by
much
a
for the
thread.
6 months.
So now, well, they're even still lacking a little bit, actually. The money's just not phenomenal. They should have enough here for Laz to drop a gun unless this is going to be a timeout.
No, we'll have to wait and see, but like you said, just barely still scraping by one, just enough to try to balance out weaponry in one way, shape,
Since
or
I
form.
started
No,
flaming
will
the
indeed
setups,
be
yeah,
the
I know.
timeout.
I know.
I was like looking at their money, and I'm like, why aren't we buying rifles?
I mean, hey, they did enough damage to bring out this timeout from GenG, who does still have the lead, but they're
It's
not
all good.
liking the
Again,
momentum they lost.
with how they're playing,
And quite
it does
frankly,
work a
the
little bit
fashion they
better
lost it
against
in,
the
right? I mean, if it was only
against the
one or two, it
Gecko.
would be Zeta scratching their heads, feeling unfortunate. But then it
GenG
just continues into
struggled a
second
little
and
bit against
third,
Team
and
Secret on their
GenG
attack, 4
starting
in
to feel that
regulation.
They're just missing something here in these rounds.
Yeah, I mean, my concern for GenG has been that some of these retakes for Zeta have just been a little bit strong at times. Like, GenG hasn't kind of fully dealt with them. We saw that 4v5 one where they didn't have a ton of util to work with because their Sova got caught, with a 0 point, and they still made it work anyway with their gunplay. So now you got to kind of try to find ways to get around that, whether it be maybe trying for some of those deeper post plants.
Now what? Whoa, we might be playing... Dude, we might be looking good for Zeta.
So that's been something
I guarantee that they probably lose this round now that they're playing a... we'd put in the molly there,
set
but
up some kind
sure.
of a pick play, but look at this. Zeta's gonna get pretty aggressive.
Okay,
Green.
this is better though. This actually a little bit better. Are we playing passive over towards A? That's a bit of a worry, but it's okay.
The high tide to follow suit.
We still have a
Really
molly
holding
to
on
delay the
even have
plant.
alarm
2
and the
mollies
nano
to
swarm
delay the plant.
continue to
Smoke.
delay GenG. One of the biggest things is there's been a couple rounds now where
Okay,
GenG started
so
to run
this
out of
it's
time.
it's a setup to fight over towards here, so I'm not too bad. See, I would like to see this more. I really think the harbor is wasted over towards B, but
aggressing alongside Huron.
they just want to delay
Could
here
be
all the
seen as a
time.
risk given the setup on
Knife
B.
goes in over towards B. There is so much going down over towards B.
Laz just
Laz
gets
takes
double
down
on the side
2.
of B, though. It was kind of an instant reaction from GenG.
Bro, what's the
Not sure if
observer
it's
doing,
actually
man?
timed or not off of that alarm bot trigger, but they're going to lose 2 members, and Dep has wisely backed off.
I think they're trying to sell a fake over there, and then they kind of overdid it, and it got shut down pretty quick. So that aggressive positioning from Zeta's Killjoy utility.
It's a massive jolt. Basically, knife went in over towards B. They hyper-focused on the knife hitting the guy at yellow, and that they went heavy for him. And then Laz, I imagine, shot 2 in the side, or at least the first guy in the side, and the second guy dueling him. Nade doesn't hit this guy. Spam doesn't hit this guy.
But a nice swing around out of time. He cannot flick to the second. And Meteor is actually going to recover this round. The lockdown
Killjoy,
now goes
molly.
down. Of course, with the harbor
Not
down,
gonna
that
break the
means no
Killjoy.
reckoning for Zeta Division, but they do have a pinch.
Keep an eye on the
2v2.
flank at the moment. He's here
Huron,
very
can he
early.
find
That
the
turret
first
is
hit?
perfect.
Will get
Does
spotted
he?
by the
Okay.
turret. They are aware of one. Now Laz, it's up to him. He needs to push the timing back in Zeta's
Double
favor.
molly for
And
Meteor as well,
GenG
so
will correctly try to
if
make
they
sure
can
they're
kill
covering
this
each other's
guy, they
backs.
have the
They
util
are
for half the
separated
plant.
into 1v1s, and
A
Huron
lovely
finds it.
reposition for Huron.
Now the pinch. On to Charon. He finds one. Snappy as ever.
Double
Can he
molly.
be as clean against the veteran, the IGL of Zeta Division. He's approaching on a timer.
Lovely
Carroll
from
will
Karen.
find
Hit
the
some nice
headshot.
shots.
5th round win for GenG.
Meteor hit some nice shots on side as well.
Charon. He has been really impactful with some of these clutches he's had so far today. He had a couple big ones against Team Secret earlier today. And now, coming up huge once again. Man, what
I mean,
what ability that he has to come in here like this and just find so much value in some of these rounds.
Yeah, I mean, very calm as well. I mean, you can see why they were praising his aim. Sure, he's not putting up the greatest of numbers compared to some other rookies, but he's doing the job he needs. Meanwhile, same can't be said for Sugar Zero, someone who once gained the nickname of Sugar Hero, now with 0 kills so far in these beginning 8 rounds. It's not what you want to see from one of your older brothers on Zeta Division. And that aggression from B, they're trying to remedy that, but GenG not there. The Reckoning still available, so Zeta, the same plan applies. It's a retake with the Reckoning in store.
Nanoswarm trying to buy a little
Would
bit
I
of
prefer
time.
over the harbor? No, I like their comp.
Oh, it's not accounted for. Cleared quickly.
Don't get me
That's
wrong.
a very big high-low, but that's a good shot from here, Ron. He's looking for a second. He doesn't really
Oh,
have
it's
a way out.
unlucky. An extra
He's
one there.
just trying to buy
I like the
time, so
Zeta comp.
no
I just
longer a
don't
pinch on
like
this
where they're
retake.
playing
Still
people.
should be a great angle for the Reckoning. It's going to be used early just to gain some space to push them
I don't like
back.
where they're
It
playing
will
people.
be
I don't
used
like
to delay
the
approach.
Killjoy util.
Ult for ult. Zeta, they will still have to find the frags, and Depp only has a Sheriff, trying to make sure his feet don't show under him. Now they're trying to get them surrounded, and it's going to be Sugar Zero finding one angle on the right side. Use the code to try to draw out of reaction, but no one budges
What
from
a
GenG.
weird
Texture
round at
finds
the
sight,
moment.
so does Meteor,
Yeah,
and Texture's
bit of
gonna
a
find the
nightmare.
last
Viper
one
brought
onto
too much.
your end.
Definitely would have wanted to
GenG
see some
continue to
spam,
lead
but there was just too
6-3.
many positions for them to be playing.
Great response here
I think the
from
fact that they
GenG.
could have
Popping that
circled
pit
around this,
right
maybe
after
they
that Reckoning,
could have
making it so
got a
difficult
little
to get
bit
any
lucky.
value out of that powerful retake ultimate. Then they just hold firm. They are starting to get back into it now. Heron helping lead the way. Meteor, of course, still just himself. Texture finding 2. And GenG right back in the driver's seat, and that forces a timeout right away from Zeta. They don't want to see these rounds start to slip. They don't want to see these rounds cascade like they did against Team Secret.
Yeah, I mean, you really think about
What would I
it,
change? Just some
they
of the
only
just
really
some of the
had one
combos
round
more.
that they won on their
Right?
own terms. The
GenG's
other
comp.
two, things just happening
Very
to line
hard
up
to plant,
perfectly in
so
favor of
over
Zeta Division.
towards,
And while that
like over
did give
towards
them enough
A,
breathing room, the coaching
over
staff
towards
now
A you can
saying,
have
"This is when
play
we
off
have to
off the
stop."
site itself
Gotta kind of
because
pump
they're
the
trying to
brakes
take it.
against
There's 2
GenG's momentum
variations, right?
and see
You
if
either
we can
have
claw
basically you
back
have
to a
kill
6-6
setup
for Zeta.
and defense
See,
setup,
on
right? So you
this
have
right
delay
side, I
or
mean,
kill. And these can be
Carlisle
A
is
or
looking a
B,
bit
like whichever
concerned,
one you
but
want, they both
trusting
work.
Junior's
And then your
comms
kill
here
over
to the rest of
towards
the team.
B
Meanwhile,
is going to be
HSK
like the
pointing
Jet,
out a lot of things
just
on the
holding
side of
close, and
GenG.
then over towards A
Alongside
you would
the
have
head coach
delay in
solo.
terms of like
Yeah, really
Viper,
curious.
Viper,
This is gonna
Shock,
look like we're
Sova.
back to
You can have
yet
Killjoy
another ego
nearby, but a lot of the time
side
it'll
of
be over
Zeta.
towards
They've
middle,
been
and then over towards B.
really
Viper,
struggling
Mollies,
getting the economy
Killjoy,
going.
Mollies,
They did
delay
very
the plant.
briefly.
You got to make it
Since
hard
then,
for them
they've
to
just fallen
plant.
apart.
They're
So
kind
that
of giving
allows
them
an
what they want
outlaw
at the moment in terms of
to
dueling.
sneak through here for
Like I'm telling you,
Lakia,
this
knowing
whole
that it's likely
this
only
whole
gonna be
harbor
half
over
armors at
towards
best that he's
A,
going up against.
over towards
most
B.
likely trying to
It's
use
cool
that
to
more
throw in
so
every
for
so
the
often
post-plant you've got to
when you have the
assume.
Jet here to kind of
But
duel
of
when you're
course, at any
faking it,
point you get
or at
content,
least
it'll
you
be a
want to
very
duel it.
valuable weapon,
But
given the
you need
situation.
to
Another
needs to be
B-stack
someone
for
else.
Zeta Division.
I don't understand, like
This
the
time
the
just
Viper being here
waiting
doesn't
for
make sense
a bit
to
of
me.
a trap play,
Like
just
right now
only
the
showing
Viper should
one
be
with a
over
jump
towards
peek.
here with the
LP
Sova.
Duran.
So the Viper's
There's only an
Sova
alarm
can
bot as
combo.
well. I mean, they're not trying to preset any sort of utility because they expect this round to be a tough one. They
It's also
don't
the
want
same.
those creds to go to waste too easily.
I think this region
They'll
is
use it for the
I
retakes.
think this region
That's
is
an instant
struggling with this
cascade
map.
to try to push them back.
I'm not gonna lie.
And, I mean, this should work to push them into A site. The real question is, what does your retake look like with this weaponry?
Because even
Yeah, I
GenG
mean,
again are seeing alarm bots
thwarted their
early
attempt at
and
B,
not
but
trying to
is that
exploit
really
over
what you
towards
wanted?
middle.
I mean,
Not that
like,
they're not doing
there's
great
not
because
much
they have
going on here. Like you
easy
said, the
side
alarm
hits,
bot
but
only, and that's just basically to give them a little bit of extra time to call in the rotation. So even then, they're just starting to make their way through. Hiroron going to try to do what he can with the shock darts to displace it, but
top
Lakia
of
was
site
up
plant.
top.
They managed
He's
to
gonna
get
be
out of
able to
here.
dodge.
And
Yeah, he dodged all the
the
damage
problem
from that.
is we
That's
got
a
1,
huge
2,
win.
3,
Texture ready for
4.
an early shot
If you
as
count
well,
these
and it's
twice,
lined up perfectly
got 6
on the peak
mollies.
up the ramp.
So to be able
And
to
Hiroron goes down.
do
That's
this
a
is
lot
gonna
of
be
info
hard.
lost on the side of Zeta. They will once again just have to push through. The flashes are flying out, and Texture just catches sight. Here's the Outlaw against the F armor, and Texture with a nice wraparound timing. GenG 7 points on the board, and Zeta still can't find the answer against it.
Yeah, and Munchkin with a great deep flash there to set Texture up for those kills. Landed nicely in the back, caused some confusion, and Texture was just chomping at the
Will
bit.
I check out the Nova
Get
FX
behind
Sunset? If
backside
yeah,
of
basically what I'll
Zeta.
do is I'll
Strike,
speak to
he
Ryan
certainly
after, and
did.
if he says
Another
like there's
crash
good maps to watch, or if
for
you guys in
Latvia.
chat are saying there's
Been
good
racking 'em up.
maps to watch from China, we'll add them
Potentially,
to a
but
list and we'll just VOD
I
review
mean,
at one
again,
point.
most of these retakes just really haven't been able to go for the side of Zeta. It's just walking into the open arms of GenG. And they're fantastic riflers. They've been shutting them down. And Lakia's just going to stick with the Outlaw.
I mean, it got you decent value. You've got the Thrash, right? I mean,
Neon on
as that
Sunset with
get-go,
Killjoy.
He's going to provide a
The
lot of
Killjoy's
value
not
to his
too
team
bad on that
regardless
map.
on this attacking
The
round.
passive turret over towards middle.
He
Really
has
good.
plenty of money.
True. There's only 2 rounds left in the half. I do understand.
Yeah. Oh, well. I mean, it's a good gun.
Still a
You
decent
can hit
Life
good
as a
shots.
chamber believer.
But yes,
The thing is, I know
agree,
Killjoy's better on
regular
this map,
rifle probably would
but
have been a bit more valuable.
I do like
Meteor gets
chamber.
spotted, but there is backup, and Laz is ready for it. A good read coming out from the Zeta Division IGL. But it's still only 1. Now, it is a very important one.
But I
At
think
0
with the
point,
way
and
they're
the flash
using, I
drives
still think with the way they're
eliminated from
using
GenG will
Killjoy,
make their approach a lot
they
harder.
might as well be
They've now
playing a
snuck
chamber.
around
That's my thing though.
this cascade. Of course, Uran's well aware of it. It's his own teammate Smoke, but that puts a lot of pressure for this double angle that he has to be afraid of if there's an approach onto the B site.
Yeah,
Okay, this
now,
is, I mean, see, right
certainly
here,
that
this is
the
looking
direction
good.
that they're looking to
Uran,
go is GenG as
double
the
molly, smoke
spike
here,
is
they can
shifting
delay.
towards them. Lakia's gonna
We
try
have
to
a
buy some
one-person
attention with the
fake
Thrash.
with the
He's
Fischl.
investing
Does Uran
hard into
hold
this
strong?
fake. It is gonna
Yes,
get
he
shut down,
does.
and then everybody on Zeta,
All goes up,
other
we
than
can
Uran,
smoke.
has
It's all
stuck
about
it A, and finally
the
they're
molly
coming
that
over,
comes down
realizing,
here.
"No, this ain't it."
Yeah, and I'm curious if Locky is going to find a kill onto Laz, and he does. He's already switched out to the Vandal as well. Texture with a quick follow-through. Almost gets it, but Depth's there for the cover. Gets traded out by Charon. Uran will push him out. Rookie v rookie on the Vipers. But the spike already ticking down. Now,
I mean, they have
3
numbers,
versus
though.
2. Numbers advantage for Zeta Division. They will all enter from
Still
the
have the
defender's
cove
spawn.
as well.
High-tied out.
So,
That calls for
GenG
the
kinda
early
need to
utility.
fight a
Shimmer
little
gets
bit.
a nice spam.
Yeah, that's why they're going
Just
for
thinks that
stuff like
he
this.
has a timing to push through. But that will not be it, as that gives Zeta a 4th round
Honestly,
win.
I'll call that
Four's looking right.
ambitious.
My worry is that
That's,
GenG
I mean,
have
it's
a better
unexpected.
defense with
Say
this
that if
comp,
you're
but
popping out
Zeta's
through
comp works
your
way
opponent's
better
high-tide
on
and through some
attack as well,
nanos,
so it might match out
it's
okay.
unexpected.
One thing we can gather from that is that kid is damn sure of his aim.
That's true.
Because he thought if he pops out and they don't see him first, he will get the triple 1 by 1. But obviously, quite a bit of
That's what
damage
I
taken
would
as
probably
well.
run
The
on
slow
that
from the
zone.
high tide, and they swing
But
right onto
the
spike.
problem is that you can't plant.
Well, might as well try it. It's going to be a desperate situation no matter what in that 1v3. Texture sneaking in and out for this final round of the
You'd
half.
get like
They get-
2 rounds
again,
on
locked
attack.
down Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, they've got, of course, the Blade Storms for both jets as well, so that long-range availability, but can really push up the tempo. Now, another split, 2-3 from GenG. It's been
Why would
working
Karen push
wonders
that?
for them.
Was that not the
except
person
for
at
that
the
one
end?
round where the
That was
timer
just because they were
ran
going to
too
cove
low.
defuse.
But they have been quicker to
I think that was
react
the
to
person at the
initial
end.
contact.
Choco
Laz
Breezy with the
thinking
12
better of
months.
that
Thank you,
keep
thank you.
alarm bot. Doesn't want to give away his position too much. They
Yeah, and
will
they hear a
trust
little bit
that
of this
turret to
running.
watch mid, and they've emptied the site once again. You have that Underspirit, you have the lockdown. Now, every time they've done this, they did not have the entire squad available for the retake, and Zeta will have to be very cautious on this last round of the half.
Oh boy.
Oh, that timing.
Yeah, that's really fortunate. I mean, if Uran peeks his head out again one more time, could have been it ripped off by Texture. Texture's just going to continue to check out what's going on over here, but you got to suspect there's at least 2, of course, with the high tide, and you just know that Uran's feet are firmly planted onto this B site. Toxic screen going to come up, and they might be able to set up a pretty big
All about the
execute.
delay
No one
again.
else from
Let's
Zeta
see.
Is, here
Is
to
the delay
contest.
enough?
It's not that I expected them to,
Sure.
the way they've been playing.
And they will send
Still
out the
got the
cascade,
cove,
but the
so
thing
Harbor
is,
can
again,
stay
when you
alive.
have a Gecko and
GenG
Keel on the other
probably
side,
going
you're
to try to
just not
take all
winning
the way
that war
back
of
his site.
attrition.
Yeah, this
They
makes
will
sense as
still
well,
make it
especially
all
they're
the
going
way
up
onto
against the
site.
cove.
Texture's
Take
gonna
back
push
his
all the way
site here.
through again
Can they
with a
kill the
nice
Harbor?
flash drive
Okay,
he's set up
MVP
for
down.
it.
It's done.
Fine step, he's ready for it. The op at the ready. He wants that opponent jet to peek out.
This
Gets
was
the
nice from
shutdown
GenG
against
though,
the enemy
taking deep
superstar,
control.
and Texture.
Lovely.
Contact for his teammate. He's waiting for the wide swing out, but Depp will get a nice shot.
Probably don't need to be fighting any of this, but they were kind of on no man's. Still should be okay. Depp actually has a. Yep, of course. Man, I can't. I'm not allowed to talk about anything when I watch. I swear.
A rough day for the Academy
Doesn't even give me
player
a
who had
slight
stint
chance to
in
talk about
Challengers
anything.
Japan, but he won't find the hope this round as the
Still
first half
think
ends
Zeta did
8-4.
pretty good to get
Yeah, some
4
really nice turret
considering
placements at times here from Meteor. It's
how
really
they're
bailing
playing.
out from from some of these
Their
tricky
attack should look
situations that
better,
could
but
have occurred.
GenG's defense looks better.
He's able to set up his utility really nicely to give them good opportunities to react to a lot of this
it's way more attack-sided.
aggressive flank pressure that ZETA tried to apply early on, didn't really pan out. This time around, just set up, waiting for these retakes. Love the Texture gets aggressive there at the end because what we've been seeing is that the retakes have been attempted by them. So one way to kind of make that more difficult is just disrupt them at the point of attack.
Yeah, Neptune, that's what we've been talking about the whole time.
Do all that stuff.
It was worse when they played against the Sage comp with it. And Sage was just getting a plant down every single time.
As well, perhaps GenG just had a read. Perhaps it's just you kind of expect it when it's that last round when the site's been emptied up that much. You saw the cascade coming out from so far. Expect things like the Hunter's Fury. You've got that deep flash drive that they've shown off before. And GenG continues to show why they've tried this adaptation, their own interpretation on this Icebox composition. The double initiators, the timings on the flashes have been splendid.
Yeah, Munchkin really, really good throughout the year so far on this map. He's really found a home on this KO. He's done a great job landing those flash drives, and the Dizzies are always really valuable to gain space, gain information, potentially bait out enemy utility, things like that.
Meteor doing a Laz impression of the pistol that happened against Team Secret.
Really shown that
Turret contact swing, maybe?
And we've seen it throughout the other
with the
regions
Sheriff
as well. A lot of teams are really starting to lean into that.
GenG to cover the fact that the turret's over towards A, look like they're going to push early tube control so they can get middle info.
It is extremely potent at the professional level.
And ZETA just look like we're going to smoke middle and potentially a split onto A. I'm not entirely sure.
With it. Now ZETA trying to bait out a reaction in mid.
Wall goes out.
It's much more of a trap play here. Trying to catch anybody who creeps out. No, this should
Going over towards A.
From Texture.
That
box on the window, but it's going to be a quick reaction from your end as well, and a swing out from depth. It's just a bloodbath in mid, but Charon comes out on top, keeps control of it, and will back off with his life.
Ooh, man, Charon, really quick to react. He's had some great moments so far today. Now Munchkin swinging back in to watch that mid push, which seems to be potentially coming. They're going to be making their way through tube. The real question is he going to be ready for it? Yeah. What awareness from Munchkin.
Yeah, he's still checking both, right? That's exactly the area they gave up. You got the turret helping watch A site as well. So Meteor fairly comfortable on his own. That's a very deep push.
Oh my god, weird timing.
Clock, but Munchkin sniffs something out. He's ready for some skills potentially.
Oh
now,
boy.
I mean, the A site emptied. So Spike should be able to get
planted. The turret's going to spot him at one point,
and
but they could get the plant down here without it spotting them.
Is quite low.
Is
does
it going to be angled that it's going to be seeing anything? I don't think
gonna
so.
See them when they get to like here. Guy needs to be careful. Yeah, they should be fine of not showing to this.
Plant it in the back, and
he's going to have no idea he's on the left, right. He's going to think that his turret covers it. Ooh, that's good info. Nice little peek.
Not quick enough on the trigger.
Yeah, that's a nice piece of awareness there from Meteor. Not overextending himself.
Close.
Oh, and Huron tries to find a timing on it. He will survive with 35 HP, and that might be just what they need as Charon sitting dangerously low at 24 as well. Now grouped up on this retake alongside Meteor. 2v2. They've hidden Huron into a corner. Uran with full health will be the point of first contact. He finds Meteor, turned back around. Can he? No, he cannot finish off the kill. But it's just a one-shot, one kill on either side with the Sheriffs. And Huron, he's waiting for the wraparound. He's just trying to bait him out. He's trying to waste time. Is that enough?
Yeah, but he at least won with the time here.
The channel, and it should be no, not close at all. In fact, didn't quite catch sight of it and couldn't quite hear it through all that noise. But it's gonna be the round win for ZETA.
Yeah, that's huge now for ZETA. Able to get a pistol round win on this map. Something that eluded them previously against Team Secret. It's just a scrappy fight in the mid, and ZETA's throwing a lot at GenG, throwing a lot of unique looks that we did not see at all against Team Secret. So trying to keep GenG off balance, and it's been working enough that they've got some rounds.
Easy.
Texture is going to sneak in.
Texture gets a Marshall, and ZETA, like we said, this comp, no issues with how they play this comp in attack. It looks really good on attack.
For the side of,
but I also like how GenG play on defense.
Wow.
So.
Quite aggressive Texture. Really wanted that Marshall to pay off in value. Bit of a dangerous risk, but of course it is the Jet. So Tailwind's out. Does let them know that there is this Marshall purchase, and we've seen several Korean Jets who will make this work regardless of the situation. See if Texture can do the same, just going for these long-range spams. But Depp has dug deep. They're not quite aware of his position. The high tide perfectly placed onto that kitchen entrance as well. Further with the Cloudburst, a little too deep. But Depp now focused onto the first opening. Dizzy, he dodges right away from it. The Cascade will provide a little bit more timing, but he's just holding true on this angle. Behind side of one, he's just keeping them distracted. He does have a Vandal. If this drops,
Kind of worried he's going to give him a gun here.
Given over to GenG to at least do some damage.
Yeah, keeping on the kill, Joe Luck.
To really stabilize things, and that's going to be 2 kills for the side of Zeta.
Still haven't picked up that gun though, yeah. I think they just think it's too out in the open, and it honestly was. Okay, not too bad. 2 guns lost, 1 armor rebuy.
What you needed to here for Zeta. He only lost a couple, and that's fine. That's an acceptable round for sure against an Eco. Now going up against the full firepower of GenG here on defense. Now we're starting to see Texture come alive, 16 and 10 throughout this. And it's an okay post plant here, but man, it's so risky. I mean, this is just a crisp one tap from Dev. You gotta love to see that.
Yeah.
And Laz finding a great time. Sneak underneath tube, do some damage, make sure that that gun is never able to be picked up by GenG.
That's going to be a push out onto pipes.
Knife goes in. I want to say it hit 2.
Covered as they often do. Even have Munchkin on the side, ready to provide a flash drive if needed. He'll try to just take the aggro away from this drone, and it should be enough, but that should give Zeta a bit of an inkling of, okay, something fishy's going on here. Main force already on the B side anyway.
Yeah, and looking over, Charon playing in the floor level, waiting for contact. Assuming that poison orb is set up on that one way. Yeah, it is, and it's going to delay things a little bit. Depp's going to try to take space. He's going to get it. Take control of the backside of yellow. High tide's going to come down.
Comes in. Does Sova want to try to take a timing?
His Texture's already coming in towards under 2.
Blocks off the site, and then they're going to... Yeah, this I love this strat from them.
But Uran will get that first pick. That should be the cue. They're still trying to draw out.
They come in from double heaven. Like this strat here is just so nice. So nice. It's a shame.
Huron is on the flank.
I mean, they might not expect this guy. Yeah, Jet needs to make sound.
Is the Sheriff enough?
30 seconds left.
He will find no. Texture swings around, catches sight of him in the last second, and now a 1v2 for Depp. Trying to isolate the angles, but it's going to be across the open
nicely done from
field,
Lakia. They did good damage. They did good damage.
Okay.
They can be happy with that.
Yeah,
I really like this strat though. It is just a classic one that you can do with Harbor, and especially now, just getting over towards back of site is a lot easier because this right is gone. I'll draw it there and we'll come back to it.
That's a nice spray through that smoke as it's coming up, and Texture able to find value there. Even with that late lurk by Huron, that's something that GenG
this part is now gone, right, and blocked in so that you can actually take the back of site easier. So I love this wall up from the Viper, Harbor wall behind it, and you just segment the people over towards here, a Viper molly in the middle as well that pushes them to the sides, and you just take the jaw. So that was good. Then I think they just weren't ready. I didn't see what the Utah was used, but they just weren't ready for the extra people on site.
Now on the lurk on A site and trying to put some early pressure.
Lovely flash to swing this.
Utility once again, and this time it could be a setup for a rotate over to A. Charon shows himself on yellow, has to use that snake bite, but Munchkin with a nice kill.
Munchkin saving him over towards here, yeah.
To a halt.
And when they hit this knife, sometimes they tunnel vision a little bit heavy on the people over towards A. We saw it against
yeah, you've got those nano swarms and things like that.
I think we saw it against Team Secret.
Generally, you gotta wait a little bit here for some of that Harbor utility to come back up. Laz.
Oh, sorry, they didn't have a knife yet. It was they just realized he was there with the recon.
I believe that's underneath the tube. Well, doesn't matter. Meteor's just, he's just ready.
And he's already taken quite a bit of damage as well, so it seems like GenG
got
a
a
little
cove
aware
to
of that
plant.
possible rotation. And that keeps the rest of Zeta stranded on the site. They try to push through up onto heaven. Sugar Zero trying to bait out just at least another kill, but that's going to call for the thrash.
Oh man, he's so stunned.
Oh
man, it's so savage.
And that's an easy kill for Munchkin.
Lovely shot at the end here. What the?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
And
Munchkin so
money
good with those Guardians
not
today.
here for this one. They have to eco.
Broads. This one also looking very
thank
clean.
you for the 3 months. Thank you for the prime, bro. Appreciate you.
Some nasty shooting. Great stuff here from Meteor. Ready for these lurks now. Our GenG seemingly. things that I was just talking about that I was starting to wonder if they might cause GenG some grief. And instead, they're...
Munchkin's really speaking his mind to the global fans today.
He is fired up today, man. I tell you what. He had some words after the match.
I mean, the thing is I gotta believe that he kept it tame for the Emerge video on that interview, right? But I think Munchkin's out to prove something this year.
Yeah.
You know, didn't like the direction that they were taking in T1.
It's true. Yeah, Munchkin's been fragging very heavy.
I mean, very talented players. A lot of players that fans around the world have been clamoring to see at the world level once again from Korea. He's at the helm of it, and he wants to prove it was just the ingredients that he was missing.
Oh yeah, you got to think back to even his Crazy Raccoon days. You know, I mean, as a player who was showing up to international events, you know, being talked about as a guy who was pretty solid. But you know, the Crazy Raccoon team never really able to accomplish too much. Yeah, maybe that Gambit game was something to write home about, for sure. But
the thing is speaking of his history, he's one of the few players who had a theme song made for him, right? Because that was at Masters Reykjavik when they did it for star players of each team. That's how far back he goes.
I forgot about that. That is, yeah, that's true. I mean, he's been here since day one, right? And he's a consummate veteran, just a guy who wants to win so much, and he's been so hyped for his team. Meteor, on the other hand, he's much more mild-mannered, but he's still getting it done. Oh
yeah,
my
that's
God.
just going to be a spray from Munchkin and Meteor. Quick with him right around the Poison Cloud, ready for more. They're getting spotted, and Munchkin will back out. 2 HP, but he calls for support. Meteor now jumping up from Snowpile. Has his eyes set. The flash drive to support. They hear the spray, and Sugar Zero's quick with it.
That's a pretty cool setup, though. That is a pretty cool setup. They have the... They have the
Tizzy and the wingman. It gets him right through the crack. 1-for-1
that was
trade,
sick, by the way.
stuck.
It's like a higher lower, right? But then the person with the sheriff goes up the front, and then the person with the rifle is literally just spotting like through his legs.
Knows he's won the mental
kind of like what you do with a turret, apart from you use a person with it. And it actually looked pretty hard to see Laz's head on that.
Really doing a nice job anticipating some of these mid maneuvers that ZETA has been attempting, and really haven't gotten too much out of them, has ZETA so far. Sugar Zero, though, look, this guy can do it. There's no doubt about it. Nobody has any idea where he is, really.
Yeah, just sneaks on right by Karon as well, but a little late on the swing, and Karon not one to miss the second time. Well, picking off right around the corner, 11-6 score line for GenG.
Starting to get scary again for ZETA. Still just really struggling to find any momentum, any.
Good job. You see this round? You see over towards B? Like that over towards B right there is what ZETA needs.
Team Secret.
Killjoy mollies with the Viper playing over towards there so they can full stall. Like that kind of round there is like the one default that ZETA heavily need to add.
Lockdown for the side of Meteor.
And then they just put the harbor where the Gecko is.
So some good abilities to get a retake with the Reckoning, or execute with the Reckoning, get a
That's all they need, and they could have a much better time on defense.
Utility of his own.
Yeah,
maybe play retake a bit.
Can really shut down most of it, so they're just going to use an early Reckoning in fear of that. But that means GenG, they have their choice for retake here. I mean, it could be
this is a free site, and they tapped the spike waiting for some util. I say waiting, util was already down. The delay from GenG is, wait, they're not going to get a bomb off.
They realize that the site just has not been taken over by ZETA Division just yet.
They use so much
for this. With a minute on the clock, ZETA has to reconsider depth.
Still kind of nice, though. They were very calm with this ZETA. They didn't commit too many people. As soon as the utils start coming in, they just fell a little bit further back. This was a very nice round from ZETA. I also like how GenG played. Like, if they full committed to the site here, GenG win that round. But
Karon gonna go exploring to try to retake some space on the ace die. It's still ZETA.
Very calm at the moment. Meteor has his ult, but he knows as soon as he ults, the Sova ult comes in. Sova goes down, now we can ult.
As well, so the Huntress Fury not quite there to break apart this lockdown. They're trying to push through. Meteor cleans house as Ura just drops down for 2, trying to push in for the 3rd. As that lockdown will go off, Laz left alone again, but the spike stranded. He's fairly aware of one side of the site, but this is such a split angle. Just entirely across it, only 10 seconds on the clock. Laz gets 1, and Meteor, he's actually
it's a good reposition. Yeah, really good reposition. He was so sure he was far back screens.
Meteor will pick up the kill.
And you just wouldn't think he would push close with 8 seconds left.
Laz on one of them good, but just couldn't quite suss out where
6
the final
chances.
member of GenG was. I'm sure I'm a
Yeah, the server needed to stay alive
there
here.
in that 1v2 for GenG, but you know what? It worked. And Meteor so solid here throughout the entire day. Tons of multi-kill rounds against Team Secret. Led GenG in multi-kill rounds actually in that match. And now you got an op for Texture. Locky a gun. There you go.
Yeah, you do want to buy up this time around?
It's like, dog, like you've already done this to me once.
Doesn't it? Hello, mate.
About to try to close out this map, and ZETA quite a broken buy here. Sure, Bladestorm available, you got some ults, and it's going to be a long journey back if you want to climb into it. But they don't have a choice. Texture's already cleared out the entirety of the A side. They've pushed out. They have the operator for the
and
long
they're so
range.
fine for this to happen.
ZETA, this is no
But Molly's
longer
over
a fake
towards
or
here.
rotation.
Oh, this is
a
me weird.
commit to that B site. Now you're on the lurk. We'll find one. He's gonna try to escape. Barely gets into 2 before the push out happens, and Depp will regroup. They want to take over a little bit more space. He's a little late on the weapon switch.
Does he?
Still alive on here. They get the spam
Oh
through the box
my.
as well.
Are they gonna
Karon
lose
must
this
have seen his
round?
elbow going through, and they're ready for Lakia's swing, but no, Lakia picks
Oh,
up the
this is
kill.
criminal.
Spike ticking down. Hunter's Fury at the ready, and Sugar Zero and Huron just need to buy just enough time for that ultimate to matter, but they swing out a little too far. And the wingman, that's not what you want to use the Hunter's Fury on. He's just sticking on to it. They get the kill. It doesn't matter for the shock darts, but the wingman will finish the defuse
I
anyway.
mean,
as
okay.
GenG
That's
will
the
take
last
map
time for a
1.
bit that we're going to see ZETA on this map,
Certainly
and
Icebox not quite
they're
where it
fully
needed to
aware
be
at least that
for
it needs a
ZETA
lot of
coming
work.
in
Like, they're
to
fully
these
aware
2
this map
teams.
needs a lot of work.
Certainly a map that I think
So,
they had to expect.
I'm hoping in the
was going
5
to be there
weeks
with the way
that
the
they'll
fans
have
are
off,
likely
that
to
that
work.
can look better.
And just not able to really find value out of that.